Ultras 11, Jose, Al, we're back.
Better than ever.
I feel like we always say better than ever. So I mean, we're always improving. So
Always improving. Man. You always just got to level up.
Yeah.
You always got to keep growing.
2 more episodes till we we reach the century mark. Technically,
Dude, we've reached 100,
which is kind of crazy because when we started this whole thing, it was literally just like a thing. It's like, maybe we're gonna become big. We're gonna be like these guys. We're gonna be like that. But then we just kind of realized, like, we're just having fun with it.
Like
having
having that conversation every week. We've made it to 100 now, which is honestly fucking insane. Well, now we're at 98, but 2 more episodes. We get to that 100 mark. Where do we go from there?
Home.
1,000.
Home.
2,000.
We go to Italy.
Maybe.
Oh, you meant like with the podcast?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the podcast, obviously.
Yeah, we could go to Italy still if we want to.
We do that as our next milestone.
200th episode.
200. We record in the Coliseum.
I was just about to say the Coliseum.
Dude, me, you, and Totti. Holy crap.
If we
I think the goal, just that, never mind making money, never mind whatever, honestly, just having fun and having an interview podcast, me, you, Totti, Del Piero.
God.
Dude.
No, listen, I'm a firm believer.
I'd be okay to die at that point.
Well, obviously, I'd kill myself on the set. But my thing has always been, anytime I see a celebrity, or if I were to see one like this, and I wouldn't be starstruck. I'd be like, hey, what's up, man? Like,
just have a conversation with
you. Like, I wouldn't really care. Like, you're famous. That's sick, man.
But your childhood idol.
But, like, if I were to see Totti, I don't think I'd be able to speak. I'd be like,
you would be asking Del Piero the question? Yeah. I'll ask Totti the questions.
I'll be looking at Totti, just be like, are you? What? Like, I just wouldn't know what to do.
Joe, we're recording right now. What are you doing? What? Yeah, I don't know. I knew that.
I think I'd get him to autograph my face so I could tattoo it. You know, everyone says, "Oh, do I have stupid written on my forehead?" No, I have Totti written on my forehead now. But
well, I mean, hey, that's the milestone right there, man. That's the next mark. That's what we're doing.
We're gonna get
putting it in the atmosphere, into the world. I don't think that
works. The manifesting.
We're manifesting, yes.
Yeah. I don't have bracelets on to prove that we manifest. What are those called? The chakras?
The chakras. I got my necklace, my stone.
Oh, I don't have that. I just have a Jesus face.
Your Jesus piece.
Maybe Jesus could have guided us. But anyways, we get sidetracked.
Never mind Totti and Del Piero. That episode's not happening today.
The first 4 minutes of our podcast is just us rambling on about something random. And
but
we say, hey, let's actually talk
about
it.
Then we clue in. We're like, oh, shit, hold on. We're actually doing a podcast right now. Let's actually get into it and not talk about our love for Totti and Del Piero.
Sorry, going to cut off. This episode is sponsored by Dolomia.
Yeah.
This is the water of the heavens. I think when the whole creation story happened, God actually, this is the water.
Yeah.
That
he created water and wine. Yeah. This was the water that he created. Yeah.
These guys, that's all I have to say about
dude.
That would be
hands down the best water I've ever had.
I think we should get a sponsorship deal by you guys, because all I want is one case. I don't even want
not asking for much.
I don't want a lifetime supply.
A case each, and
I would nurture that water every day. I'd water the water if it means it grows into something. I don't know how water works, but here we are. Anyways, Dolomia, thanks for everything.
Thank you for coming into my life.
We did our predictions last week. We got that out of the way. I'm going to be wrong because I'm already looking at this table, and Roma has fucking 1 point. Empoli beat us at home. Whatever. I'm getting used to it. I'm going to be ready.
Let's just say Joe might be wearing a full yellow Juve kit with Mbangula on the back, inside of Denny's having pancakes for a full 24 hours.
I'm gonna lose both fucking deals, and that's what pisses me off. And the worst part is when we did the voting thing, we put it to the poll. Which, by the way, thank you guys for cooperating.
Yeah, for
participating,
cooperating,
whatever.
Same difference.
We are going to be doing the Denny's thing, which fucking sucks because I don't even like pancakes that much. And I know I'm going to lose.
You're going to be eating a lot of pancakes that day.
But yeah.
Or be spending the time. It's up to you which way
honestly,
you
I'll
want to go.
spend the time. I'd rather spend the time. We'd have to do it on a Sunday, though. But I have Sunday. Actually, no. Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday morning. Start Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You're there the whole day until the next morning.
Oh, God, that sounds like fucking torture. But anyways, yeah. Got our torture. I was going to say, we got our torture in. We got our predictions in. We did all of that. If you missed it to see how badly I'm going to do, last week's episode's up. It's there. Go fucking watch
If
it.
you're
Go
interested in
listen
the
to it,
Premier
everyone.
League, the week before is also up. You can check
Yeah.
that one out.
Yeah.
I know most of you want to hear us talk about Serie A, so that one was
I feel
the
like,
main one.
I
That
feel
one
like
was
a lot
last
of people
week.
don't like to hear us talk about the Prem because
Because we just get called out on it.
yeah.
And
Oh, you know, it's not Man U. It's just United. Nobody says that. Hey, man, sorry. I'm not
Funny,
born
you know
in
how many
fucking
things
Manchester.
Do you know how many videos now? Like I'll watch on like TikTok and like other like podcasters, or I think other people talk about soccer, and like other people will say Man U, and I'm like, dude, why are we getting called out for this shit?
Yeah, you guys don't call them out.
I've hear other people saying it. Even
like,
United fans too.
That's what I mean. Like, and like, it's the easiest way to describe them, Man U. Like,
Yeah.
you know who it is, not Man City. Why doesn't no one throw a bitch fit when you say Man City?
Because people call it.
They just
Cité.
say, okay.
People say Cité. It's not Man Cité. Cité. I know. I was a former citizen.
I was just, I think Al's regressing back to his British days, even though he never lived there.
I did.
But
Couple months.
let's get into this. Let's no more bamboozling.
What do we got on
today?
the board
We're
today?
gonna literally do a whole the end of the year transfer market type of thing. Not end of the year, end of the summer transfer market.
The part that nobody actually cares and everybody's pissed off because it should be closed well before.
That's
season.
actually our first topic. So thank you for saying that, Al. Let's talk about the timing of this whole transfer market, the summer transfer market. What are the flaws of it actually happening right now? Like during the season, like every team is playing. There's 2 games, maybe even 3, depending on when their season started.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a flaw, or do you think?
I mean, that was one of the things why I brought it up in the first place, because it for me, like, man, looking at it every year, and like I always say this, you've heard my dad say it too, and I've heard other people even say it too. Like I've seen it on Twitter. Why is the transfer market still open when you start your first game?
Yeah.
At that point, there should already be closed. You should know, okay, hey, first game starts. I have my full team. This is who I have. And that's it. I'm not going to be surprised that, I'm going to have now someone else going to come in. I'm going to adapt and be okay, hold on. Now I can't play this guy because now this guy came in and he is better. So now things like this changes things. And there's too much uncertainty going into the first couple of games that you don't know exactly if that's going to be your squad by the time the window ends up closing. So for me, close the fucking thing right before, let's say even middle of August, or even if you want to do it end of July, that you have until then to buy the players. Mm-hmm. And that's it. After that, you can't do anything until the January market.
In saying that, though, when do you think it should start then? Because if you're going to close it a little bit early.
As soon as the last game of the season is played. So usually, typically, like the Champions League game is like the last game of the season. Usually the league finishes the week before or 2 weeks before. So after that, as soon as that game finishes, next day, transfer market opens right there. Not wait until June, the 1st of June, and then open it up.
Yeah. Open
it up then. You close it at, that's what I'm saying. Even if you want to do end of July or whatever, August 10th, August 15th, and you start the league right after that, sure, whatever it is. It just has to be before that first game is played.
Yeah.
Because, man, you see it a lot of times now with this season, like, okay, with Napoli, for example, they still don't know what the hell's going on with Osimhen.
We can't talk about that because that's the second topic. So
okay, see, but this is what I'm talking about. Stuff like that is the reason why this transfer market, the way it is now, it's a flaw.
Yeah.
Like it's a flaw in the game because there's a lot still now going on, and even people that think that they're going to have a player, and then all of a sudden, in the last week of the transfer market, this guy says, "Oh, I want to leave," and someone else comes in with a big offer, and he ends up going. And then this coach that thought he was going to have this player for the season now does not have this player. Example: Ronaldo. The Juve started. Oh no, he was staying, and then all of a sudden, within 2 days, that City talks happened, and then within a day, United came in and they got him, and he already played 2 games for us. Yeah. So at that point, there, it's like, okay, now we're starting the season. We lost our striker, and we don't have time to buy another striker because there's like 2 days left.
Yeah.
So you put teams in that kind of position, and like I've said this for years. It's the stupidest thing how they continue this, and how like no one actually says like, yeah, we're actually looking into this and trying to change the way the transfer market is. Mm-hmm. It's fucking stupid.
I think for me, like it goes back to even what she said. Like, I think it's more flawed than there's any pros I could think of. Obviously, we'll talk about if there is any pros. We'll get to that, but I think it's like you said. It's one of those things that, like, okay, literally, you said Ronaldo. I'm gonna say Dybala right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna literally quote what De Rossi said, and I'm not trying to make a case for De Rossi and Roma because we're doing bad right now. Not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. But he is a young coach and an inexperienced coach.
Yeah.
This is literally his second transfer window as a coach. ever. So obviously there's stuff he has to learn, he has to adapt to and stuff like that. But the principle is like the first game of the season. Don't you think he would have liked to maybe started players that he think is like he's gonna have?
Yeah.
But he didn't because it's like, oh, is Dybala gone? Am I preparing for life without him? Like, obviously, you shouldn't have a reliance that much on players, and I understand that aspect as well.
No, but that was a perfect example.
It's like
that's literally right there is a reason why it should be done before the season starts.
And then you see this game against Empoli. He obviously started Dybala, but it's like, okay, wait, I was kind of prepping for you to be gone, so I had this whole other tactic, but I'm not going to leave you on the bench. And now I trained with the team that I didn't even like. This wasn't my real starting 11.
Yeah,
and obviously he has to figure out a starting 11. Again, not making a case for him, but like that's just a small example of how this transfer market fucks stuff up. Because you could literally be getting your number 9, your starting number 9 right now. And that means they didn't get a preseason. They didn't get to train with you. They didn't learn your style. They didn't learn a system. So it becomes this whole thing where it's like that first season, they run the risk of being a genuine flop. You know what I mean? Like if Osimhen, Ocean Man over there fucking goes somewhere. Obviously, he's a good enough player that, you know, his raw ability is good enough that he'll put numbers up. But you won't see him hit the ground running like that. Look at like even like with who's the guy that fucking Mane to Bayern. Sorry. Mane to Bayern.
Yeah.
He went towards the end of that market. And then everyone said, oh, he was a flop. He was there for what, a year? And everyone said he sucks. Meanwhile, when he was on Liverpool, he was this world beater. And if the Prem is as good as it said, like
he's
what
the best player in the world.
Yeah, like he should be like a top dog in the Bundesliga then. But he didn't have the time to actually become a Bayern player, learn the system. And you see, like even with Barcelona now, with their last minute deals, these guys are gonna come like. Yeah, obviously they're great players. They're great tactically, but
they didn't have time to settle in, understand like how the team plays and just the system.
And that's why I think like that's the biggest flaw. And I think that's why your team should be figured out and finalized by the latest end of July. You know, not going into August. Like August should be your preseason tour that you're going around like you see all the time. And then at the end of August, your season starts. Yeah. All right, cool. I had a preseason.
At least even if it is a later transfer, let's say at the end of like July, like that last week, you end up getting a player then. And okay, because I know they start training like beginning to middle of July. Like teams said they just come back from like vacations.
Like that,
So yeah, okay, you're gonna miss that little part in July, but at least by August 31st, if you're signing to a new team, you're gonna be already there, and you can at least be with them for 2 weeks before the team actually starts playing their first club game. Like it's stupid that like people are still coming to teams now and they're already 2 games in.
Yeah,
like,
no, exactly.
It's the stupidest fucking thing for me.
It's such a weird thing. Like, and obviously as a team, you're gonna obviously want to capitalize and say, "Yo, we still have time. Let's get this guy. Like, we need him. Either he's in our future, he's in the present, like whatever it is." But it just doesn't make sense anymore because, again, there's no preparation behind it then. And then you also see people overpaying for these guys.
Yeah.
You see teams settling for something because, oh, we have a void. We need it filled. Roma signing this right back from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is. Obviously, I don't watch the Saudi Arabian league, but I don't know. It's just a weird thing. That's a last-minute panic buy. Because everything's not panning out.
Because certain things like that they were expecting aren't happening. So now it's like, okay, fuck, who's available that's, you know, semi-decent at a decent price that we don't have to overpay and we can get him quick.
Yeah.
That being one of them. But even like, do you have, before I talk about him, do you have Coop Miners in your other part?
No, because the second before, like when I was writing the script, you told me, Coop Miners is a done deal.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that's why.
But okay.
But he could be an example now.
So I'm going to say same with him now. Yes, from the beginning of July, we knew he was going to go to Juve. We knew it was going to happen. He was turning down other offers, saying he was willing and he wanted to go to Juve. Atalanta at first, okay, fine, you're not going to be with the squad. Then they brought him back for started training with them for like a week. Then after he said, oh no, I don't want to play anymore. He wants to leave. He's trying to push and move, and they're basically just holding on to it. And I know it's just because they're salty about just that he's going to be leaving to another team in Italy, a rival team, let's just say. Yeah. And they're trying to hold it off until last minute. Now he's already missed 2 games. Okay, now you can go. They were always going to say, yes, dude, we're giving them the 60 mil pretty much of what they're asking.
Yeah.
There's no other reason. Like, he's not in the team. You guys have bought 4 replacements for him in the same position. So you've got that covered. So now what's the reason for holding off?
No, I
and
agree.
saying no?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just stuff like that could be avoidable and just happen quickly because, hey, you end July 1st. Juve's doing what they need to. Giuntoli's trying to push the move. Say, hey, okay, look, this is what we're giving you. We're working with you. We're offering what you want. Let's close the deal. Yeah. And they're holding it until the end. If that happened July 31st, okay, yeah, it happened right. It would happen right at the end, probably on the last day. Yeah. But at least we would have had him for 2 weeks before the season starts, and he would be there from the first game.
You would know at least what's going on with him. You would know if he's going to fit into stuff. Like it's a completely different ball. Obviously, like with Atalanta, I think they're playing chess with that. They did this on purpose. But so he doesn't settle in, so he looks like a flop.
100%.
It's literally like it's a good tactic.
They would have done it too if it ended close, like earlier. It's just we would have had him at the beginning of the season because they know, man, they're not stupid. Obviously, like they're going to take that money. They've spent the money already, knowing that they're going to be getting it. So that's why, like, dude, Atalanta's not a team that just goes out and spends 60 mil within a week. Yeah, and they did that last week. Yeah. They're not that kind of team.
It's kind of crazy, actually, how much
they spent 60 mil. They're getting back 60 mil. Now they're starting to spend even a little bit more than 60. So why are all of a sudden they're spending this money when Atalanta was never that team?
Yeah. Do you think there are any pros to this ending, like the transfer window ending at the time it does?
The only like pros that I would like genuinely say for this is the fact if you start the season out, and we've seen it happen before. A big player goes down, let's just say, and he's going to be out. Let's just say, for example, for you guys, okay, let's say Dybala. Ew, I know but I know he has injuries. He misses his game, but he's still there most of the time, especially with Roma. He's been pretty good, better than how he was near the end of Juve. Let's say he gets out and he's out a season like a Chiesa, like against Smalling, like fucking ACL tear. He's done for the season pretty much. At least having it open after that first or second game kind of makes you, it's gonna be a panic buy, but at least you can get something to like, okay, you know what? At least you can kind of fill his spot this year. We'll do a dry loan or a loan with option, and just have that spot covered. Or you start the season out, and you think, okay, I think we're okay right now. We got who we need. We got the depth, and you play your first game, maybe even the second game, and you start seeing like, okay, maybe this spot's not as solid as I thought it was, and I think we should kind of bring in a reinforcement for that. Mm-hmm. So. You get to see that real, because preseason you can never tell because no one's really trying that. Like you'll see Milan went 5-0 in preseason, and look what happened so far this season.
You'll see your youngsters do very well because
they want to prove something
for themselves. But
other than that, man, you can't really compare it because how much is the other team actually trying, or are they being paid extra to play because it's in the States and they want to have at least the big players playing?
They want to get their
like, dude, Madrid got pumped, and but you watch that game, Madrid they were walking on the field. Yeah. Like you can't tell much from that. So at least you have your team at the beginning of the season where, okay, this is what we're playing. This is the league. Like this is what you're experiencing week in and week out. Like, it's not easy. Let's see what they do. And then you start seeing the flaws. You're like, okay, you know what? Maybe we do need to bring in a right back because he's not cutting it. He could be good as a backup, but I think we need something strong there that we can rely on. And you go for like a veteran guy, cheap option, see who's available, and you pick that up. Yeah. So that's the only really good I would say.
I was literally gonna say the exact same thing. I'm like, the only pro I could think of is you played your first game, your second game of the season. You look and you're like, I thought we would be decent enough for the season given what we have. No, we got to reinforce this position.
But
that's
again,
the only positive.
But in saying that too, there's the other side of that as well. Is okay. Most of the time, like for a coach, they already know and they have an idea, either if they've been with the same team or even if they're a new coach, of what they want and what they need on that team. So I don't think it's very many times that they will start the season and they're like, oh, fuck, we need that. It does happen, but I don't think it happens often enough because the planning and everything nowadays that goes behind it, it's most teams have a genuine plan.
Yeah, usually in January
I don't see them panicking. Okay, fuck, we need a right back now. Like, oh my god, we need a left wing because we're short there. Okay, let's go. Like usually they already think about it and they're working on it until the end, like fucking Juve.
Unless you're also Roma that fucking just realized, maybe we shouldn't have bought a right winger and we should have actually got a left winger because we don't have a left winger. Our attacking options are all left footers. We got a problem here, but. Nonetheless, let's not talk about Roma.
Let's not open up that can of worms.
That's a whole tangent. I'm gonna write down today all my problems. I'm gonna post them.
Joe's gonna write a book.
I'm gonna have a thesis prepped for you guys with everything about Roma that I think could cure them.
Yeah.
Not save them, cure them.
And if you guys
There's
think,
a sickness.
and if you guys think that he's joking and you genuinely want to see this, you go check out his Roma page, AS Roma Now. We did a little sponsorship here, and
check
you
that
will
out.
definitely see a full-on, just in-depth analysis and Joe going on a tangent and just everything about Roma.
Or I just randomly start snapping in the group chat with the guys.
Yeah.
Where I just get no response, or I'll get crickets, and then I'll just get from one of the guys, KK. It's like, you're right.
or Ro. I'm not reading all that.
I'm not reading all that, but have a good day. Thanks, Ro.
Cheers, man.
Love you, man.
At least-
We got to get Ro on this.
At least we're
episode
upfront about it.
soon.
Yeah,
Ro, we gotta get him.
I feel like he doesn't want to be on it, especially now. Like this. I mean, hey, Chelsea did fucking dominate on the weekend, but I mean,
no. Cole Palmer FC.
Yes,
Dominated.
Yes, but
Jesus Christ, that guy's good.
he's disgusting.
He's fucking good. I need
And
to give him that credit.
maybe after when they string together a couple wins, then we'll get him on because like the confidence will be high.
I want Ro when the going's getting tough. So I want Ro
Then he's
and
gonna-
I want a Milan fan.
He's just gonna come here and be like, dude, fuck soccer. Dude, it's not even worth it anymore. Game fucking dead.
I want him beside Leone, who his team is struggling too right now.
Yeah, but
Leone is optimistic. I love that.
This guy's saying optimistic. He's like, yeah, dude, don't worry. Tonali's gonna be back one day, dude. I'm optimistic. I'm putting it in the universe. Like, dude, he's gone. You guys sold him. He's a gambling addict.
That's why I love Leone, because his optimism isn't like, oh yeah, we're gonna turn this season around. We're gonna do well.
We're gonna
figure it out. No. He just jumps way left field. We're getting Tonali back. What?
Hey, guys, don't worry.
You have 4 days
I
left in this
already
transfer
know.
market.
I already know. We're getting Tonali back. Don't worry about it.
Whatever. Back to reality. I wrote a time down over here, and not even right.
It's okay.
But so yeah. Moving forward. Sorry. I'm struggling with multitasking today, guys.
It's okay, man.
My head was killing
just
this
had a rough
morning.
one.
Yeah. So
Roma lost. He was going.
Can we stop talking about that right now? Regardless, there's a couple days remaining. Sorry, I yelled into the microphone. If you listen to your
stop
headphones.
yelling at our listeners.
Sorry. There's a couple days remaining to this whole transfer market. Like what? 5
Yeah, 5 days.
days?
Yeah, it's on the 31st.
Yeah, so
5
5 days. Well, by the time you guys hear this, 4 days. Then.
4 days. Yeah.
So
Clock is ticking.
shit, blood. In saying that though, there's still a lot of big names that we've literally seen from day one of the window being open till now that are still being chased. Their future is still undecided. Coop Miners was on that list, but now Coop Miners, apparently that's a done deal. That's solved.
Yeah.
Lukaku,
now they're willing.
if we did this episode last week, Lukaku would have been on that list because he was being hoarded out to every single team. Everybody wanted him, but apparently nothing happened.
Yeah. Everybody but nobody wanted him.
Yeah, the whole saga with Nico Gonzalez sorted out. There's been other stuff, but the main ones we're going to talk about today are Chiesa, Osimhen, Sancho, and Joao Cancelo. Cancelo.
I get it, but like, man, these are like some big names that are still dragging on, which is like kind of crazy.
Yeah. So let's start off. We'll do one person at a time. Chop them all off. Let's start off with Federico Chiesa. I know.
We're gonna start off with
this
him
is
first.
why I want to start with him because it goes. We get it out of the system that it's like from the heart, Then we could speak in facts and absolutes.
Okay.
So just gonna rip the band off. Where's he gonna end up, Al? Because we know he's gone. He's phased out of the squad. He's not even being brought to training anymore. This guy's training with his dogs and his wife. Like it's crazy.
That's what I blame.
Well, obviously it's his agent's fault. We're not going to talk about that though, because that opens a whole other can of worms of stupid agents in general. But the thing with Chiesa, before we answer this whole, where does he end up? His high wages are going to be his demise. Clearly, that's the demise with Juve, and that's going to be the demise with other teams, given his injury, his lack of consistency, and everything else. He's had 2 rough years. And I get it. He came back from an injury. But reality is, Al, spade is spade.
I know.
He's not that Euro Chiesa, cut in, bangerang, see you later.
Be blinded by that or his name.
His name doesn't really blind anybody, man.
It does.
What, because his dad?
No,
his dad was an average player, respectfully.
He made a name for himself.
Oh, yeah, obviously. But reality is reality. He has fallen off the mark. And so the latest teams to emerge that apparently want him, are Barcelona and Liverpool.
Yes.
Where do you think he ends
And don't forget, even though they have 44 players, Chelsea's also involved in it.
Yeah, okay, Chelsea's linked with every single player on this list right now. So that's why we're only gonna mention Chelsea for one guy out of the four we're talking about today.
Okay.
Because Chelsea's linked with everyone and their dad.
I got it.
So yeah. So, where does he end up? Where do you think? Or is there a third team that you
No. I genuinely think it is between those two teams there as an actual option, just because they're the only ones actually like willing to pay him, and they're still not even paying him what he's asking for, but it's close to it. I think between the two, I just think Barca just got too much going on, and they barely just registered Dani Olmo, and I know they can still sell and like end up getting Chiesa, but I just think it's too many moving parts, and I genuinely think that just doesn't end up happening. It ends up taking too long.
With them getting rid of Langley, Gundogan, Vitor Roque, and that other guy, I don't know, Faye, whatever. Doesn't that kind of open up another spot for them to get Chiesa now? Because almost
financially,
there.
No.
I thought it was just a matter of
no. It's not player wise. It's not like a number thing. It's like literally numbers, like money wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
So like that, they have to clear that to be able to get him. So I just think that's too complicated. And now that I was reading today that with Liverpool, they're willing to pay the fee. They're willing to give him what he's asking now for wages. So Liverpool's one of those teams that I feel like, they're interested in you. They'll talk to him, get an agreement with the player, which he's already willing to go there. So, I feel like that deal is going to be done. That's going to be a closed
how much
deal.
is the fee?
I think 15 mil in total.
Jesus, how the mighty have fallen. That's crazy.
Well, hey, but Joe,
last year we were talking about him as a 60 mil player.
I know,
right?
but now but at that point there, he also had 2 years on his contract. So Juve, if they were shopping him then, maybe not 60, but they could have gotten 30, 40, maybe even 50 if someone really wanted him. But the problem was, man, like you mentioned earlier, his injury, which was a big thing, which you saw, he didn't have that burst of speed and just that quickness to him anymore after when he came back. And even when he came back, he would play a couple games, then he felt pain in his thigh, he felt pain in his other leg, and it was just these little things there that after all that, okay, I get it. You did what you did in the past. You still came up and had big moments, even last year. But the problem was, it was like a Dybala. He wasn't there when you needed him. You weren't sure if he was going to be healthy the next week after you played a game, and he was asking for a lot more money. And just doing that, I think, just really shot him in the foot. The club didn't want a thing, and now Liverpool coming in, I feel like it might be a new life for him, which, okay, you know what, 15 mil, it's low, but at least it's better than zero.
Getting something.
It's better than zero.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you don't want to be in that situation, us with Dybala, but also Milan losing Donnarumma, Hakan, and Kessie all for free in one summer.
I was gonna say, didn't they lose somebody else? But it was just
no. Those were the three there. Those were the three all in 1 year. That's big, man. You even if you get 10 mil for each of them, at least you made 30 mil on 3 players. Yeah. It sucks, but we didn't really have a hand to kind of play. We were kind of, okay, hey guys, you want Chiesa? Yeah, we're willing to sell him, and we would have to kind of negotiate and kind of see, okay, what people are willing to pay for him, because we couldn't really pay much. He has a year left. People would be like, okay, I'll wait till next year and get him for free. I don't give a fuck if he's going to sit out the whole season in the stands. I'll get him next year. We'll get him back in shape, and we've got him for free.
Well, do you think if he ends up at Liverpool, do you think that could be his career could revitalize, or do you think, because Liverpool is known for these pacey,
that's what I
think,
think the style of play with it all, I think, will benefit him. But then I also think, because there's some hacks in the league, and they'll take his legs out, and I could also see him missing time because of that.
Yeah.
So it's I could see him doing well when he is playing. I do think the style suits him and benefits his kind of style of play. I just think it's going to be tough physically for him.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Right?
I do think it is a better move, Liverpool, than Barca.
Yeah.
For him.
Well, because Barca, where does he play left wing? He could actually maybe.
And I know, okay, with the players we joke around, whatever, but I genuinely think the best move for him would have been Chelsea, because they need a left winger.
They need a left winger.
Yes. Well, Mudryk is god awful, Joe.
Yeah, but I'm saying Pedro Neto. there's a left wing. Well, actually, he's more right.
He's more right.
Joao Felix could maybe do a job
more central.
There. Yeah,
you're not getting your best of him on the wing. Like a proper winger, man. Chiesa would fit perfectly, and even with Maresca, I think he would do well.
Why? Because he could speak Italian. Too?
Yeah, man. The Italians love Italians. You know that. You know that too.
It is true.
Like if he had his that was his little secret weapon. Like, dude, I genuinely think he would actually flourish in that team.
I just think Chiesa's biggest mistake right now is the fact that he's so hell bent on making
his agent and his ego. That's his two problems right now.
Because I get it. I think it's nice if players have an ego because in today's generation you need to have an ego.
100%.
I know I'm good. You need to be
realistic. Also, you need to be realistic and not have your agent in your ear saying, "No, this is what you're worth."
Like that's what I mean. Like he could have came to Roma. He could have went to Milan. He could have stayed in Italy like his desire was.
Yeah.
All these teams were interested in him, offering like whatever. But for you to just demand all that money, and that's why, it goes back to what we always talk about, like whenever we're outside with your dad. These players, in my opinion, man, I don't care what anybody says, they make enough money. They make a shit ton of money, man. On the low end, they just get paid from their team, and that's usually $2 to $5 mil.
Yeah.
$2 million a year. Sorry, euros or pounds a year, and you can't live off of that. Really?
At least for now, when you're in your 30s and you're like, hey, I'm good to go to Saudi Arabia for 2 years,
exactly.
make 10 mil a season, and then you can retire.
That's why, okay, as much as it's crazy to me that you're really gonna twerk that much for that extra 1.5, 2.5 mil because it's like, yo, you're just gonna get that already in endorsements.
Yeah,
you have even half a decent year. Your value goes up in the world, not just in the game, in the world that everybody wants you to be a part of something. Then throwing you in a commercial, these guys want to sponsor you. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy that that's gonna make or break if you want you're over your happiness almost. You know?
Yeah.
But
I do generally see him even with Liverpool doing well, not even just because of style, but also with the system they play and him playing as that actual winger, all in all, winger. He's not worrying about tracking back and getting the thing. He's just worrying about getting that ball, bringing up the field, beating that defender, cutting in, and either crossing it or shooting it. And that's all he's going to be asked for. And that's why I think he genuinely will do well in the Prem.
Yeah. Speaking of Prem and who could potentially do well, Osimhen over there.
Osimhen.
He's been all year. Osimhen has been linked with Chelsea. Chelsea
and PSG.
Yeah. Then PSG emerged, then back to Chelsea. Oh, we just have to free up Lukaku, and then the perfect deal fell into place with Lukaku going over to Napoli, Osimhen going over to Chelsea, do a swap thing, but then Lukaku came over to Napoli, but Osimhen didn't go over to Chelsea. And now it's just kind of a limbo. And everybody says he came out and said he's going. There's so many things behind the scenes that happen with this guy, and it's just at this point, just kind of accept a deal for him. You know what I mean? You got your replacement.
Dragged it on so long. You got everything you need. Just sell him.
Exactly.
Make your
money.
Just
get rid of him. Obviously, they're playing hardball.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is with Napoli. They want 120 mil. They want whatever. But it's also man, he's not worth 120 mil, my honest opinion.
Be realistic.
I would argue and say, hey, he's 75 mil. Yeah, at the most. At the most.
Even 80 would be like, hey, you know what? That was okay.
Obviously, today's market, everybody's a little bit more inflated considering 100%. We paid 40 mil for Ukrainian Lukaku. But regardless of that, which team do you think suits him more then? We're kind of the same thing with Chiesa, but do you think he'll do better with PSG? Given that he does have past experience in Liga with Lille.
That would help. That would benefit him.
Or do you think on Chelsea, where they kind of need that number 9 because Nico Jackson may not be him, you know?
I mean, it is tough because with PSG, I genuinely I do agree with you what you were saying last week. I actually like what they're doing now and actually trying to build something instead of just spending money on all these people and they don't know if they can end up working together and they just don't fit the system. And I think they're doing something well there. And I think he would, like you said, he played in the league before. He already knows the league. Him coming back to it wouldn't have much to adapt to. So I think he would do well at PSG. With Chelsea, I mean, he addresses an issue that they've had because Nico Jackson, they thought he was gonna be that guy. He's definitely not that guy. Yeah. And I think he would fit the system very well. But I don't know, man. I just feel at Chelsea, it's gonna be a similar to he goes there. It's gonna be a Lukaku situation where too much like the pressure and like I don't know, like the hype, and he's just not able to play in that league because it is very different. It's very different from League One and also very different from Serie A. And I feel like he's just one of those players that like I feel like he would do well at like a Bayern Munich. I feel like he would do well back in League One. Staying in Serie A, I don't know, like the Prem, like I think he would do. I don't know. I think he would do well with Chelsea, but there's also a fear of me that of him just turning to a Lukaku situation. So like for me, I would say PSG would suit him more.
See, I would actually say Chelsea would suit him more, just because Chelsea would not be afraid to bench Nico Jackson and sell him and let Osimhen be their number one through and through type.
Like, man, I've seen Osimhen miss some fucking sitters with
Napoli.
Of course. Like he does that with Chelsea, dude. He's gonna get eaten alive.
Of course. But in saying all of that with Osimhen, I feel like it's one of those things like his when you compare what he has with Nico Jackson, and you think about like his like attributes in a sense, like Osimhen has what it takes to be a good Premier League striker. Tall, fast, strong, good in the air, decent enough with his feet. He's that perfect athlete in a sense. And I feel like in the Prem, that's one of the main things you need to survive. You need to be a very athletic player. Yeah. Obviously, you have to be technically gifted as well, but that's the next step of becoming like the world-beating Premier League player, The basic thing is being athletic. Now, Nico Jackson's an athletic player as well. But the problem is with Nico Jackson, he has zero technical ability. Like he has 0 feet to control a ball and bring it in, And that's where Osimhen has the one up.
That guy couldn't even finish a bowl of cereal, man.
But that's what I mean. And I think they're screaming out, like now with what they have, like Pedro Neto, Joao Felix, Cole Palmer, that middle 3, and then a proper 9.
Yeah.
And you've seen Osimhen's played with high-flying wingers that actually like to make runs past him and stuff like that. So he also knows that role of, okay, I'm going to be kind of like a target man and help build up. Help with the build-up play. So I think that would be something they're looking for, Chelsea, and they need. PSG, okay, Gonzalo Ramos I know has that big injury, but you still got to remember, they still have Ousmane Dembele. They still have Bradley Barcola. They still, they have enough players that he'd kind of have to jostle for that number 1 spot, and, he wouldn't just be thrown into it. You know what I mean?
I feel like he would.
He probably would. Don't get me wrong. He probably would, because you're not splashing that kind of money on a player just for him to sit on the bench. But I'm saying, if he goes to PSG, there's always that question of, oh, this guy could maybe do better. You know what I mean? Whereas with Chelsea, no one's going to question, even if he misses the sitter. Yeah, they'll be at his throat, obviously, but nobody will question if he's the better choice compared to Nico Jackson. Yeah. There's that level of patience that they'll have more, because it's almost like, oh, well, who's our fucking backup? Nico Jackson? Fuck that guy. Nobody even cares for him. So I think with Chelsea, it addresses their problems. It helps them out, helps him out clearly, and it could work out. It just sucks that you're going to find out within the next 4 days if he's there or not, right? And I don't think that's enough time for any player, but here we are.
And I haven't heard too much recently about him too.
That's what I mean. It just literally died out.
Just kind of sitting there,
reemerges.
You'll just comes out of nowhere.
Give it another day or two after whatever, it's gonna reemerge.
Yeah,
it's gonna come out that it's Osimhen's either going somewhere or some big announcement from Napoli. He's staying.
Yeah,
and
I think by Thursday, Friday, you're gonna hear something for
which
that.
Which is annoying as all fucking hell, because it's buddy,
right at the end.
Yeah, exactly. You literally were twerking for a move away. Yeah. Talked all this talk, and
now you're saying
you're still in Napoli.
And now you're back up to
Grow the fuck up. Yeah, exactly. Let's get real. He actually would probably be the backup. Yeah. He's not going to start.
Conti?
It'll literally be Lukaku and Raspadori, Lukaku and Kvaratskhelia. Osimhen's out.
Yeah,
Osimhen's out. He's phased out.
Yeah,
and Conti doesn't give a fuck.
They already planned for life without him.
Yeah,
and now it's just their owner just being stupid and being greedy. Let the guy go, get your money, you got your replacement, move on.
Yeah,
let him do his thing.
But here we are. Next up to talk about. Jadon Sancho.
Another one that we're linked with.
Another Premier League player honestly, man, I genuinely feel for Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's this generational player or anything like that, but I do think he's a really good player, a fun player, an energetic player that makes you smile when you watch him play, because he doesn't seem like that cocky, pig-headed fuck. He just looks like a kid that wants to have fun.
Yeah.
And you feel for him because he went to United. Maybe he was going through some mental things and whatever. Like Thierry Henry said, like when your head's not there, you're not the proper player. Dortmund's home for him, and he came alive again. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe United, the pressure was way too big, and he'll never be that big name, big team guy. You know what I mean? Maybe that pressure just isn't good for him. He has to go where there's freedom.
I just think he needs to go to a place where he's believed in.
Yes.
And he has 100% of the coach's backing.
Yeah.
Which from day one, I feel like he never got at United with Ten Hag.
Well, that's the thing that confuses me too. Why do you publicly come out and say this whole spiel about how you guys made amends? He's a top player. He's this, he's that. And then
think of it.
You bench him. But Joe, not even bench him. Not even called up.
Think of it from a PR point, okay?
Yeah.
So then nothing's happening with him yet. He's coming back to training. What are you gonna after everybody knows how it left off when he left and you guys literally got into scrap, didn't talk to each other, and he left, and now he's back. What are you gonna say? Oh yeah, I know. I'm still not talking to him. He's just gonna be chilling here. I'm not gonna play him, and try to make it better. Oh yeah, we spoke, we talked. Everything is okay. So everyone's like, okay. Yeah, he's good. That situation's dead. We don't have to worry about that. And just kind of like just so they're not in the media for the for the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what that was. And maybe they did talk. Maybe they were gonna try something. But then, he wasn't maybe the first option, or, he still wasn't really being fully looked at. And, he was like, yo, like, what the fuck? I know we spoke whatever, but, like, yo, like, put me out there. Like, I want to, do more. I wanted this. And maybe he's kind of just pushing him away because, like, Ten Hag doesn't give a fuck and only wants people from his Ajax team and literally rates Anthony over him, like, which is insane. So I just genuinely feel it is that. And he's just kind of being pushed out. And now it's down to who ends up finding an agreement with United, because he's got Juve coming after him now, and it's a loan with, I think, obligation, but Juve's trying to get them to cover no obligation, but with the Juve trying to get them to they were trying to do an option, but they're saying they're willing to do an obligation, but they want them to cover like this year's 50% of this year's wages because it's fucking stupid, like 14 million. So they want to try to do that. And then you also have Chelsea, who are trying to now just joining in and trying to do like a swap deal, Sterling for Sancho.
That'd be a really good deal.
Which again, you're
looking
United, at both guys very similar wages. If United's down for that and they're okay with taking Sterling and using him, which might be actually good for them, having another like experienced guy there for the team, end up doing that deal. So I could also see that happening there. So with Sancho, I feel like it's just a matter of time of him happening. Like, I don't think he ends up getting back in that squad or being a part of Ten Hag's team. I just think it's genuinely just waiting for him to accept the move and United to accept the move.
Do you think he is going to find a home by the end of this transfer market?
I think so.
Or do you think in January?
No. I think he dude, he wants to obviously play. I don't think he's going to want to sit out for half a season and wait till January to move. Like, I feel like he'll do, especially when it starts getting near the end and the clock is ticking. I feel like he'll try to, negotiate and give in maybe some ways on his wages or whatever it is to make the move happen. Because if the coach can be like that and he's at home for 2 games in a row, I don't think much is going to change throughout the season, unless like maybe half the team gets injured and he's like, "Okay, fuck, you know what? I'll bring you back. Like, I need players." Yeah. And even at that point, I can see him calling his youth team instead of Sancho.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually see Sancho staying, because I can't think of where a solution happens. With Juve, maybe United sit back, collect their losses. Lick their losses. Yeah. No, they collect their losses.
Thing they would do with their losses.
Just say like, all right, fine, whatever. We'll cover his wage. We'll do this. We'll do that, just to kind of get him out. Mm-hmm. But in saying that, I feel like I could also see United saying no and almost playing like hardball. They want a permanent fix for him that, just get rid of him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if like, okay, you have Juve coming in saying, okay, fine, we'll do a loan with obligation. So next year we buy him for 40 million, but you guys cover half right now. You have to, like, dude, look, with us, with Szczesny, we're trying to figure out, we couldn't find a solution. We agreed to a termination. Yeah. DeCilio, now we're working with Empoli because they want to sign him. That will basically pay his last year off, and then he can go there. Yeah. Sometimes it sucks. You have to pay out, or you have to pay a little bit more, but you find a solution for that problem that you're not paying a full year. Exactly. You do lick your losses, essentially. It sucks. But in the long run, it helps you out with the books and with everything else.
Yeah. And that's the $1 million thing with a guy like Sancho.
You give and you take.
Yeah. Sounds kind of weird, man.
But you do. You got to say, okay, we want an obligation. We want him gone. But you also got to be flexible in a way where saying, okay, yeah, okay, fine. You guys will agree. You guys take him next year, obligation 40 mil, and okay, fine. We'll cover 50% of the wages just because you guys are end up taking it. And at that point, they're covering half the wages. So it would still be better than him staying there than paying his full wages and him sitting out the whole season.
I do feel for Joao
Cancelo.
He's who we're
That's
talking
our
about
next one.
I do feel for Jadon Sancho.
I do feel for him, man.
Now I'm going to switch over to Joao Cancelo because I feel like I have to fucking talk.
I don't feel for Joao Cancelo.
I don't feel for Joao Cancelo one bit because you're just being an arrogant fucking twat. Who's your agent? Isn't his agent Jorge over there?
Yeah.
You don't have my respect. Respectfully. I think Joao Cancelo is a good player, and a lot of teams could use him. Like a man that could play both wings equally as good. I think he's the ultimate Swiss Army knife in a sense.
Only downfall is he's a defensive liability.
B, he's not loyal at all. Let's get real. He's been on 73 different teams already.
But that's the thing. But is that loyalty him leaving or, with Inter, he went there for a year for loan. They're like, he's good, but we're okay. We're not going to get him. Back to Valencia. Then you've assigned him. Oh, this big thing. He had an amazing season. We sold him that swap deal to City because Allegri didn't want him anymore. How come? Pep used him for 2 years. Yeah, don't want him. Get rid of him. Got rid of him. Goes to he's one of these big teams because the name he has, and he is a good player.
Yeah.
But when you have him in your team defensively, man, he makes you weaker.
Well, it also makes you think. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, Al. I genuinely believed Joao Cancelo in Barcelona was a great recipe. I thought that was a forever home for him. Not forever, but you know what I mean.
It was, but again,
the way
they don't have the money.
That's the thing. How they can't loan him out again another year?
It's the way they can barely register. They just registered a guy that they just got. Do you think that they can they're struggling? They want to get Chiesa now, which now they don't know. But if they can even do that because they got a clear wage, I think they're going to do that too. Also for Joao, who's on high wages, it's tough.
So where does Joao end up? Because let's get real, he's not like he's out of City's.
Pep's made it very clear. Like he's not in the plans. He's going to be gone. The only place if he's not going to give in and say, okay, fine, I'll sacrifice and take a little bit less, which it's still good money. It's going to be Saudi Arabia or
I saw that he was in contacts with Al Hilal or something like that.
That's really like genuine. Like I'm genuinely trying to think. Even like in the Prem, I can't see anybody paying that. Anybody going in for him even last second. Serie A, definitely not. No one has money there. Bundesliga, also not really very high. Maybe I could see a PSG coming in last second.
Yeah.
Like realistically, it's okay. It's a team he's never played for, so he can check that out off as one of his boxes. And, they'd probably be willing, especially not having to pay Mbappe anymore, to pay a guy like that. But
they do have a good Portuguese core there. Actually,
and they do actually.
Nuno Mendes.
But I not a guy that they've even, you've even heard mentioned together is, PSG and Joao. So I genuinely think it's going to be a Saudi move for him, which is crazy.
Because he's only 30.
Yeah.
He's only 30 years old. And I'm going to look at you and say, I actually do really appreciate watching Joao Cancelo play because I think he's very fun to watch. Do I think he's the best right back, left back in the world? No, not by any means. Because again, like you said, defensive liability. And in my opinion, your defenders, their priority should be defending, not attacking. Yeah. But I will say, Joao Cancelo is a very fun player to watch. He's good on both sides, his Travellas, everything like that. It's cool to see. I think he is one of those guys. Again, it's almost like a Chiesa where their agent is dictating a lot of their things, which isn't good because now you've seen him go from team to team, and it's these top teams like you said, but you're don't you want to settle down at a club
and have
at least one club,
a team that you can call home?
Yeah, none of these teams want you. It's either A, your attitude fucking sucks, B, you got to maybe adjust yourself as a player, or C, tell your agent, fuck off, find a forever home.
Yeah, but Joe, if he hasn't adjusted and just tried to become better defensively by the age of 30, don't think it's going to change now.
No, obviously not. So he'd have to go to a team where it's high flying. Don't get me wrong, I could see him on a Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
where they dominate the league type shit.
Don't get me wrong, would hate it. Would obviously make them better, but I can see him on an Inter as well. Inter that play at that 3-5-2, him as that right mid.
Oh yeah, that would be he needs. In my opinion, those are the teams
that's what he needs.
A team that he's in a 3-man backline. Yeah, and he could play right mid, whatever. So he has that more freedom up top.
He will do it. I know we were linked with him too at the beginning of the year, and with this new system that Thiago Motta's playing, where like the right back kind of goes into the midfield and he's pushing up, like he would 100% fit that. But again, not going to be feasible because him and his agent they're asking for too much money, and it's not something that a lot of these teams can afford and are going to want to put themselves in that position to pay him because yes, he's a good player, but he's not worth what he's demanding.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest problem.
Maybe he could come to Roma and fix our right back situation. That'd be cool.
Do you guys still have, what's it, the Chelik and fucking Zalowiski?
No, Zalowiski we're selling.
Yeah, but he's not yet.
No, he's basically gone.
No.
9 mil, and then we're probably going to get like
and that's money laundering. Do you guys lose at least 15 points, dude? He's not worth 9 mil.
Yeah, he is. He's still young, man. He's a kid. He's
horrible.
Cool. He's not horrible. Stop. You know what's crazy? Actually,
can't even make it on Roma.
When he plays on Poland, he's unreal. He has a goal, an assist. He's a fucking monster. Comes to Roma, and this guy can't even nail a fucking cross. And I'm just there like, what's wrong with you? You're finally playing an attack like you want to, and you suck. Like, I love you still, Zalewski. You're a Roma player, so that's why I like. Here we go.
Hey.
Angelino is my left back, right, baby?
And Yelho's my midfielder.
Yeah, Juve pisses me the fuck off now.
It's okay. But you know what the good thing is, though? Next week's episode, we get to talk about Juve and Roma because they're going to play.
Oh, shit.
They play next weekend.
They do.
So you don't forget that, buddy.
I'm not next week. Oh, stomach bug.
Next week, Monday, and text Joe, hey, Joe, I'm coming to grab you. No,
wait, is it on Monday they play?
No. Next week they actually play. We actually have our first weekend game. Bullshit. They put us on 2 Mondays for the first 2 games.
Yeah, because you guys
they didn't want to see everybody seeing a crazy style play it. They're like, oh, you guys, not everybody's worthy yet.
Yeah, on that note, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Podcast 98.
So you know how Joe or me is going to be pissed off next weekend. It's next Monday. It's
honestly, man, I think I'm becoming numb.
Not even pissed. Yeah, not even pissed off. I think. I'll probably.
You'll be pissed if Roma wins because you witnessed great football.
Joe will be amped. Yeah, I know. It just be. I'll kind of be brought back to earth, dude. I'm high as shit right now, dude.
If we lose, I'll just kind of be like,
I'm not talking about the marijuana. I'm talking about life right now, dude.
You didn't smoke pot.
No, but I'm saying I'm high right now.
I kind of tripped out.
I'm on a high, dude. With this team, I'm like, dude, literally the best team in the world right now. Who's better than us?
Barcelona.
Yeah, okay, the Barcelona. They can barely afford Dani Olmo, dude. They can't even pay their players.
Tomorrow I'm gonna watch Hansi Flick masterclass against Real Valladolid.
Dude, you're gonna see a Master Kate probably.
No, I love Hansi Flick. I love that bastard.
No, I don't like it.
You're not a bastard. So
I don't like it.
That's out of context.
Yeah, dude, what the hell? I'm making a clip out of that video.
I'm gonna just
Hansi Flick's a bastard. I'm just send it to him.
Want your autograph?
Just expose you.
No, me and him are friends. We have the same theories in football.
Yeah, I'm sure about that.
Yeah,
anyways, before we get into Joe and talking about his theories, we're going to leave it right there.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening. If you guys didn't already, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at UltrasXI. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. And yeah, just come back next week because I'm going to be positive and confident. It's going to be a very high energy episode. It's going to be a lot of in-depth analysis about the game. Let's try to get Joe nervous right now.
No,
okay. We got a week. Don't worry.
What you watch next week? No, Lafay's injured, so already Lafayette.
Guy Lafleur can't play.
No, Bova's season started. See how he wings that?
New number 10.
I'm gonna do the new double wing.
Hey, you know what? As long as it's him other than Cristante, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'll support Roma.
I don't know how I'm feeling about Cristante.
Yeah.
Cristante, I used to defend to the fucking hills.
Dude, you know you were like what's that movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
No, when the guy he's dating the girl and he sees her skinny, but she's actually fat.
Shallow Hal.
Dude, you were literally shallow howling fucking Cristante.
I was, man.
You were looking at him like this guy was like prime fucking Zidane. Dude, Cristante.
You know what it was? Because
only Cristante.
De Rossi finally spoke about Roma before he signed for Roma. Was the coach at Euros, whatever, they won the Euros, and he literally said, there's a boy from Bergamo. I'd take 12 of him. And he's not even Roman born, but I love him, Cristante, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, my gladiator's talking this highly of you. You're my Lord and Savior as well.
Well, hopefully we don't see him this weekend. Guys,
let's hope not.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll hear you next week. We'll see you next week. Ciao.
Dolo mia, baby.